We Learn Virtual Learning Network, a part of PCTI Group, presents before you a session on leadership skills. Now, who is a leader? A leader, as you can see some of the figures, Mahatma Gandhi, Bhagat Singh, E. Sridharan and MS Dhoni. So, they are all leaders. Leader is a person who leads with you and also never misleads you. A leader is a person who gives you direction and who guides you in the right direction. As we can see, here's one more leader, Lalu Prasad Yadav. And we can see some of the examples of some more leaders, Saddam Hussein, Sachin Tendulkar, Mother Teresa and MS Dhoni. So leaders who knows how to lead and how to give the direction. The facilitative leaders are who knows need to lead and how to lead. Some leaders are efficient and capable. Some leaders are efficient but not capable. But the leaders who are efficient, effective and successful, they are known as true leaders who can lead people in the right direction. So, leadership skills. What is the role of a leader? The role of a leader is to guide the group, is to make the people go in the right direction and also to support them and to encourage them. So these are some of the phases towards high performance. The first one starts with forming. Forming means to form a group, to form a team. To form a team with the right individuals, with the right people. Next is storming. Storming means basically make the people to give their ideas, to give their opinions and to give their viewpoints. So basically when they sit, when they discuss and when they give their views, ideas and when they share things together, that is known as storming. And next is norming. Norming is when they form particular rules, regulations and norms of how to run a team, what are the do's and don'ts of to run a team and what things are required in a team and what things are not required in a team. Next is performing. It is the way you perform. It is the way you give your performance, means whatever task has been assigned to you, you perform that. You do that in the right spirit, in the right manner, courageously. So what are the skills of a leader? First one, as it says, skillfully motivate. To skillfully motivate the people and to inspire them to take positive action. Coaching our expectations. To also our expectations to coach and to give our expectations the right direction. Hire the best people. Hire the best people. Hire the people who are right for their various jobs. Be a great example and also set a great example, also set the right example for the people to follow. One person can make all the difference. So the leader has to be, he or she does not have to be different. He or has to do things differently so as the people should take him or her as a role model. Practice good communication skills. So the leader should also practice good communication skills, should be saying things in a manner which is appropriate and which is also suitable at the particular time and is also communicating in the right manner and having proper communication skills wherein to make people act and take positive action. And also learn to inspire people, learn to motivate people and to make them do the task and to make them perform any act or perform any task which is given to them in the right zest and enthusiasm. So, the leadership style. Here are various leadership styles. First is authoritarian. Authoritarian, the leader who has authority or who exercises a lot of authority, focuses on the task wherein he or she says the task is high, means the work output or the way the things or work is done has to be high, and he forms no relationship with the people. He does not form relationship with the subordinates or with the followers, but the task or the focus on the task is high. The team leader, next. The team leader, his task, his work output, the way the things are to be performed, that should be high. And also he sets high relationship with the people, he sets high relationship with the followers as well. So he focuses on the task as well, he also focuses on forming positive relationships with the people around. And the person who is a country club, he focuses on the relationships more, means he focuses on relationships and less of the task. He focus very less on the work at hand or on the task at hand, but focus on forming high relationship or more relationships with the people around. But a person who is focusing on low task and having a low relationship, that leadership style is known as impoverished. Impoverished is a leadership style wherein low relationship is formed and low task output is there as well. So everything, the relationships as well as the task output, that is low in nature. So what are the 8 C's of personality of a leader? First comes courage. Courage means the leader has to have courage to perform an act or to perform a task. He should be fearless. Conviction. The leader should have conviction of performing the task. He or she should be having the conviction. So the leader should have conviction to do the task in the best possible manner. Next is competence. The person should be competent, should be capable enough, should have confidence to do the task in the right possible manner. Next is commitment. So whatever commitment has been done, the leader should perform that task to the best of the abilities. Next is creativity. To do the tasks out of the box, to do the task in a different manner, or to do the task in somewhat in a different or in somewhat having the same thing but adding new elements or new qualities to a particular task, means thinking out of the box. Clarity in mind. The person or the leader should have clarity in mind, should be clear enough which task to be performed and who is the suitable person for the task to be performed. Next is communication. Clear communication and right communication at the right time with the right place should be done by the leader. Remember, this quote is said by Vincent Lombardi: leaders aren't born, they are made, and they are made just like anything else, through hard work. And that's the price we'll have to pay to achieve that goal or any goal. So hard work, one needs to do hard work to become a successful or to become a good leader. So motivating manpower. What motivates your employees? Shouldn't you find out before they run away? So we should keep our manpower, we should keep our employees, our workforce motivated to give their best and to perform their work to the best of their abilities. 10 simple ways to motivate. You should praise them. Say them thank you. Send a card saying thank you. Pass on helpful articles. Help them when they require you. Team picture. Have them in the team. Motivate them. Make them to come in the team. Make them to form a team. Arrange meetings with the seniors. Make them involved with the meetings as well. Surprise your subordinates. Surprise your subordinates with different activities, like making them involved in some activities or praising them for good work, making them manager for a day, or light-hearted awards. Light-hearted awards, celebrating their birthdays or giving them attention. So light-hearted awards, these awards can be given, and these ways should be there to motivate your employees in the best possible manner. So why training? Training is needed or training is required for open feedback, to receive feedback and to also give feedback, to receive feedback of your performance and to give feedback of how the person performed. What is feedback now? Feedback is basically response given by the person of who is attending. Feedback is information about how we have performed in relation to a stated goal. Feedback tells us what did or did not happen. What are the points to be improved and what are the areas to be improved and how it can be improved. You were aware of other players were positioned and made use of that knowledge when you had to dispose of the ball. Similarly, that too happens in sports as well. So feedback basically tells us of the areas which were lacking and of the areas which were actually strong. So what is effective feedback and how effective feedback should be given? Basically over here, sandwich feedback technique should be followed, wherein first we should start with praise. We should praise the person first, and after praising or after giving good points to the person, then the weak points or the points where criticism has to be given, then criticism should be given to the person, and then again praise should be given to the person. In this way the person keeps motivated and his or her confidence level and morale also is also high. So one cannot criticize at the first, because one has to praise at the first, give them good reviews, and then move to the criticism part to criticize the person of the weak points of how on which areas to improvise on, and next is again the praise part to conclude the discussion with praise and to give the person the good remarks over to it. So in this way the confidence of the person is maintained. So what is effective feedback? Effective feedback provides information about what happened or was done. So basically, effective feedback is when proper information at the right point of time is given about what event happened or what was done, and an evaluation of how well or otherwise the action or task was performed, how good the action or the task or the stated goal was performed, what were the shortcomings, what were the weakness, and what were the areas which were strengthened over there. Guidance as to how performance can be improved, and also giving guidance, guidelines on how performance or on how the particular stated goal can be improved. If it was not up to the point, how it can be improvised and what points can be incorporated so that it can be improvised in the right direction. Principles of effective feedback. The feedback should be specific and should avoid vague comments. It should be clear, it should be specific and should not have vague comments. Is varied in its method of application. Should be varied in its method of application and uses models showing desired outcomes. Should tell the people that this is what the outcome which is desired, and shows a valuing of others' work. Others' work should be valued. Provides time for others to act upon advice, and should also time should be provided to others so that they should have proper time so that they are able to act upon it and they are able to perform it to the best of their abilities. Enables others to know how they will benefit, and also making people realize, making people know how can they benefit from that particular feedback. Basically the points or the areas of action. When does feedback occur? So basically to realize when can feedback occur. Feedback can occur at any point in the learning cycle. We have various learning cycles in our life where feedback can occur. First is while working on a task. When we are working on a task, feedback can be given at that particular point of time as well. While presenting a task, when the presentation stage takes place, when we are presenting the task to our seniors, then feedback can be given. Or at the end of the task, when the task has been completed thoroughly, then feedback can be given. What were the points of improvement and what were the strong points. Tips to receive feedback effectively. And listen to the feedback given. You should not consider the feedback as negative. Means feedback should be considered to improvise upon yourself. It should not be taken in a negative manner. Listen to the feedback given, be aware of your responses and be open, have an open mind towards the feedback which is given to you. Understand the message, understand what is being stated to you, reflect and decide what to do. Reflect, see think and decide what can be the plan of action, and then follow up with that. You have to connect and you have to follow up with that. Do not lack that particular step. Do not forget that particular step. One needs to follow up. That's very important. Concentrate on the behavior, not the person. So the person's behavior, on that one needs to concentrate. Balance the content and also be specific. Be realistic what you're expecting from the person. Own the feedback. If you are giving the feedback, say that this is what you have been expecting it. Be timely. Feedback should be given timely, on a proper time. Offer continuing support. Continuing support should also be given to the person. So know yourself as a leader. You should know your qualities, your traits, what qualities or what traits you have to become a successful leader. Now, effective delegation. What is meant by delegation? Delegate outcomes, not just the tasks. Delegation is when people delegate their tasks, when people distribute their tasks to the people whom they trust, to the people whom they have trust upon. So delegation takes place when distribution of tasks take place, and when the authority or when the tasks are not centralized in or on the single person. So that when the tasks are delegated, when the tasks are distributed, the burden on one person is less, and the tasks are also done in the right manner or in a timely manner. So in this way, right people should be chosen for delegation or for doing the work. 5 steps of effective delegation. Know what to delegate. You should know which task to be delegated. Be picky with who you choose. So who is the right person or who is the right person who can do that task well? Provide documentation and clear instruction. So paperwork, documentation and clear instructions should be given on how to perform the task. Track work and provide feedback. You should always keep in touch with the person, track the work and provide feedback that how the work is going on. Make it ongoing, make it continuous. Do not stop in between. So we have a story here. It's story time. It's the story of a wolf and a shepherd. A wolf had been prowling around a flock of sheep for a long time, and the shepherd watched very anxiously to prevent him from